Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something huge, a massive shift in how money, crypto, and AI are all crashing together. We're talking about the very plumbing of our financial system getting a total overhaul. So we'll look at how crypto is making money faster, how regulation is finally making it safer, and how AI is completely changing the way we even think about our finances. Let's dive in.
All right, let's kick things off at this question, because it really sets the stage. Remember when fintech was just banks, but on your phone? It sounds almost quaint now, doesn't it? But just a few years ago, that's what we thought was the peak of innovation, just having a slick app for your bank.
Yeah, we are way past that now. The game has totally changed. It's not just about putting a digital wrapper on old clunky systems anymore. It's about tearing those systems down and rebuilding them from scratch. And our first story is a perfect example of this happening on a massive global scale.
Okay, first up, Visa. You know them, I know them, they're everywhere. But what you might not know is that they're pioneering a change that can make the whole messy business of international payments, well, shockingly fast.
So here's the deal. Visa is piloting a brand new way for businesses to send money across borders. And instead of using that old, clunky wire transfer system that can take, days to clear, they're using stablecoins.
Now you might be asking, what exactly is a stablecoin? Great question. Think of it like a digital dollar. It's a type of crypto that's pegged to a real-world asset, usually the US dollar, so its price doesn't go on those wild roller coaster rides like Bitcoin. This stability is absolutely key because it makes it a really reliable tool for actual business.
And this chart just lays it all out plain and simple. You go from the old way, slow, clunky, where your money is just stuck in transit for days, to the new way, where settlement is almost instant. That's a huge deal. It frees up a ton of cash for businesses and gets rid of all those complex foreign exchange headaches. It's just better.
This move by Visa, it's kind of like your dad suddenly deciding that, hey, TikTok is actually a pretty good way to learn things. It's this massive, established player giving a huge stamp of approval to a new technology. This gives stablecoins a whole new level of corporate legitimacy. We're talking about a global payments giant saying, yeah, this is the future.
So the big takeaway here is that Visa is basically using crypto technology to make the world's money move faster and cheaper. But for this new, super fast system to really take off, people have to trust it. It needs to be regulated. And that brings us perfectly to our next story.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about Coinbase, one of the biggest names in crypto. And what they're doing is pretty clever. They're making a big move to get on the right side of the establishment, to play by the rules.
So Coinbase has applied to become something called a national trust company. Now, I know, that sounds super technical and maybe a little boring, but trust me, this is a massive deal. Instead of having to deal with a different set of rules for all 50 states, which is a total nightmare, they're going for one single federal stamp of approval.
So what does this federal charter actually get them? Well, for starters, it lets them officially take custody of digital assets, process payments, and even create new tokenized instruments. And it does all this under one single federal framework. It basically lets them get out of that crazy 50-state whack-a-mole game they've been playing with regulators.
And this quote just nails it. It's the difference between being Uber and being Uber after they got taxi medallions, right? It's that classic story of moving from being the disruptive outsider to becoming a legitimate, regulated player that's actually part of the system.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear. Coinbase is playing the long game. This is regulatory chess, not checkers. They're positioning themselves to be a key federally supervised player in the future of finance. Okay, so we've got faster money and we've got more regulated money. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, where things start to get, well, conversational.
Finally, let's talk about ChatGPT. You probably think of it as just a chatbot, right? But it's quietly turning into a platform that could completely upend how we interact with our money and all our financial services.
See, OpenAI recently launched the GPT Store, and you should really think of it just like Apple's App Store, but for AI. It lets developers build and share their own little custom apps. They're called GPTs that work right inside of ChatGPT, and you can use them just by talking to them.
And the potential for finance here is just wow. I mean, imagine this. You just open up a chat window and you can connect your Robinhood account to analyze your portfolio. You can ask for your Stripe analytics. You can even have an AI from Klarna help you plan your budget or get an instant, easy to understand explanation for why your credit score just changed. It's all your financial tools in one single conversation.
But, and this is a big but, this opens up a massive can of worms for regulators.
I mean, when an AI assistant starts giving you something that sounds an awful lot like financial guidance, what is it? Is it an app or is it a financial advisor? This is a huge unanswered question, and it's a compliance minefield the whole industry is about to walk into.
So let's zoom out for a second. We've got faster payments thanks to crypto tech, we've got the crypto world getting more grown up and regulated, and we've got a new conversational way to interact with it all. These aren't just three random trends. They're all connected. They're the building blocks of what you could call the new financial dashboard.
So here's the big picture, right? First, money's getting faster. Visa's pilot with stablecoins is making global payments happen in a flash. Second, the whole system's getting more grown up. Coinbase is seeking that federal charter to bring legitimacy and stability to crypto. And third, it's getting conversational. The GPT store is creating a whole new, super intuitive interface for finance. You put it all together, and it's a pretty clear vision of the future.
And that brings us to the final, really important question. As all these worlds, crypto, traditional finance, and AI start to merge, are you ready to manage your financial life just by having a conversation? Because this isn't just about new tech anymore. It's a fundamental shift in how we relate to our money. And the real question is, are we ready for it?